Welcome to the Six Again podcast, your new destination for all things NRL. Here to bring you everything from team news to best bets are your hosts Adam Hoy and Jared Newton. Let's kick off.
G'day guys, welcome into Six Again. This is our round 7 wrap. We are coming to you a day later than usual. Apologies for that. I'm Adam.
Hey guys, I'm Jared.
And I'm feeling worse for wear. I think Jared's more tired than anything.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a long weekend, but it is what it is.
Wait till you have kids. But,
Adam, what do you got? A few teeth taken out, Adam?
Yeah, I had my wisdom tooth taken out this morning, so if I'm not as clear and as loud as usual, I'm sorry about that. If you're watching on YouTube, it probably looks like I'm trying to be a ventriloquist because my mouth is hardly moving. I also have a broken finger from the second last day of work, so not a great day not a great start to holidays. At least the footy.
No, well, yeah, some parts of the footy was good. There were some parts.
Some parts. Both of us had a loss this week with regards to our teams. One probably more expected than the other, I would say. Some people were calling Cronulla beating Manly a massive upset. I was like, they probably haven't been watching that much of the games, but we'll see. We'll talk about it. Not much going on off the field, so we should be able to get straight to the games this week. Wrap up, have a look at any teams that are kind of pushing towards finals, anyone who's already out of it. That's going to be something more that we're going to look at with our Week 8 preview in a couple of days' time. But off the field, the only kind of big news that we drummed up is the Storm have made their base up on the sunny coast, where their feeder team, or their partnership team is, in the Sunshine Coast Falcons reside. And it looks as though they're going to be out there for at least 28 days as per the Victorian government's jurisdictions. And yeah, they're going to be playing at Suncorp for their home games. A lot less travel, I guess, for them in that way. But yeah, that's where the Storm are hanging out for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, good on them. It's not. I don't get the problem. There's a bit of a backlash to it originally. NRL weren't too keen on the idea. They weren't too keen on the idea, but it's for Melbourne. Really, it's the most logical place to go. There's a really good field there. It's their feeder team. There's the facilities there. Everything's all there for them to go. So,
and they'll get exclusive use of the facilities because there's no footy happening on the coast at the moment. And the Premier gave them special exemption to come up and stay there as well. Unfortunately, they're not going to be doing any open training sessions, which makes sense, but I was hoping to get over there and hopefully get a couple of interviews, but that's not going to happen now. The only other things, St. Helens has pretty much almost made it official. James Graham has signed with them for the end of the season. And we've got the Warriors signing Jack Hetherington from Penrith on a loan deal, with Puasa Farmasili being recalled by the Roosters to cover their injury concerns that they have at the moment, which isn't something we've said very often in the last couple of years with regards to the Roosters. Nothing else, Jared?
No, there hasn't really been too much. There's the odd rumour going around about Benji bailing, getting shopped around, but it is what it is.
Line up Manly, Melbourne and
Warriors and Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah, because they're the ones low on halves. Because Melbourne's got an injury, Cowboys got an injury, and Manly just don't have a dominant 6. He'd actually do pretty well with Dylan Walker's injured too.
Yeah.
So they've all got injuries, all three of them. Actually, him and Cherry Evans would do quite well together, I reckon.
That'd be pretty exciting.
Yeah. So
don't know where we get the money from, but
no. Well, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. If it is true, it's true. I don't think it's very smart from the Tigers.
I don't see anything to it either.
Yeah, like if they get one injury in their halves, I know they've got Billy Walters, but you can bring a 300 gamer in your halves, and you can just But rumours are rumours.
With regards, that's pretty much everything with regards off field. So we'll just jump straight into judiciary and straight into injuries, and we'll get into the reviews. So Roger Tuivasa-Sheck's hoping to avoid suspension for alleged shoulder charge. He'll appear at the judiciary Tuesday night. If he's unsuccessful and miss a match, even if he enters an early guilty plea, he's still facing a week on the sideline, so you can rub him out of the game against the Broncos.
That'd be a horrible game to watch.
Oh yeah.
Like if you saw that game coming into, you think Warriors are going to win just because they've got someone like Tuivasa-Sheck in their squad, but now they're like,
could be the big difference, and that's also with what we're talking about. Did we talk last time of the Warriors being allowed to go home?
Yeah, so I think it's Ignatius Parsi,
David Fusatua.
Yeah, and someone else, one more. Yeah, can't remember the third one.
Yeah, but who's it? Coach Todd Payton said he's not going to step in the way of them going home. So
how could you step in the way of them coming home? Really? Like you can't stop them. No.
So it's going to be interesting. That'll be something else that we'll be looking into with regards to our preview of week 8.
One thing about the Warriors, they've identified their main target as far as their coach next year.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Craig Fitzgibbon.
Oh.
But they reckon he's the next coach off the ranks. But in saying that too, a lot of people doubting he's going to accept the job just because of the fact that it's going to be way too hard a job for him to do that, plus travelling, which he's not used to, and I don't think he's going to do it.
What, for the rest of the season or for next season?
For the next coach. Like, they don't reckon Todd Payton's the coach they're going to take forward.
No. And Todd Payton said he's not ready for it anyway, so...
So they reckon the main targets, Craig Fitzgibbon, but whether you take it, I mean, they've got a premiership winning coach who's already said he'd do it for them, Jeff Tuvey.
Yeah.
So, but look, whoever takes that job, they've got a hell of a job on their hands.
That's it. I think we've said that of every Warriors coach that's gone there. Also, how are you yawning? It's like 30. Bloody hell. Joel Gowie's accepted a 2-week suspension for a shoulder charge on Titans prop Sam Lasone. So another Broncos, maybe he just doesn't want to play for the next couple of weeks. We'll see.
You're blamed if you're not playing.
Ooh. Brisbane winger Corey Oates, Jordan Rapana both accepted $550 fines with no suspensions. So again, pretty slow on the judiciary front. It's injuries where the big news is. So, from a pretty heated match and a damn good match it turned out being, Corey Horsburgh is looking like 3 months with a Liz Frank injury in his foot. George Williams broke his nose in that same game as well, but he's not going to miss any time. Will Hopewadi 6 to 8 weeks with a syndesmosis ankle injury that he's going to receive surgery on. He may have had that today, actually. Cam Munster, 3 to 4 weeks with a medial injury. Josh Dugan left the Manly Cronulla game with nothing more than a tight calf. Pretty much just getting old. Matt Lodge came off in the Broncos game, iced up knee, but he seems to be all good and should play. Victor Radley and Sam Verrills both did their ACLs in the same game for the Roosters, both out for the season. And Mitch Moses left the game also against Canberra with what looked like an Achilles injury. News to come, he's meant to be going for scans either later tonight or tomorrow once the swelling goes down. So for a week of injuries, there's some big names there. Like Vic Radley, Cam Munster, Mitch Moses, Will Hopewadi. There's some big names missing there. add that onto Tom Trbojevic, Dylan Walker from last week.
I think the biggest, to be honest, I really do think the biggest loss there is Cam Munster.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of the fact he's been like their point of attack at Melbourne. Despite what Cameron Smith does, he's like their biggest unknown at Melbourne, and just kind of like, does Cam Smith now have to move into halfback? Because Riley Jacks, he got dropped last week for a reason. So
yeah, that's huge. Like pretty much since Cooper Cronk's gone, they haven't replaced him in the halves, but they haven't replaced where the points come from either, and that's Cam Munster. So,
and yeah, like when a great player leaves a team, how long does it take to find someone else? Like Andrew Johns left Newcastle. We had to buy someone from the Roosters. We haven't produced one since. Jonathan Thurston looks like they're not going to have a really good out. Jonathan Thurston like half coming to Cowboys. Alan Langer. I mean, the Broncos have had a good halfback since Alan Langer. So
it's going to be, but like, actually no, I'll say probably Thurston out of those three with the focal point of attack, whereas the other two had players as well who could create something from nothing. You think of like Gidley and Badiris for the Knights, and then Lockyer or Renoff or whoever for the Broncos.
Yeah.
But you look
Thurston was
right now, you're like Cameron Smith.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Like everything Pappenhausen does is on the back of the forwards rolling, which they're not at the moment. Yeah, it's going to kill me because I had Munster and Mitch Moses as my halves in fantasy. So there goes both my trades for this week, where I was going to look at upgrading other positions. So I'm going to have to replace both of them. So selfish. Anyway, that's pretty much it on the injury front. So we're going to jump straight into the games and some talking points that you'll see written up where emotion can play a role in games, and when opponents can take advantage of it, and when fans aren't real happy with what they see sometimes. And there's a couple of games this week where that was truly the case, and we'll talk about them when we get to it. But we're starting all the way back on Thursday night. This game was built up as something pretty big. Penrith versus Rabbitohs in the Strata Jubilee Stadium. Penny Panthers getting the win there, 20-12 over quite an uninspiring Rabbitohs outfit.
Yeah, Penrith kind of dominated them here. Props to Brent Naden coming onto the field to replacing Josh Mansour. And he scored in the third minute, was it?
6th minute.
6th minute, yeah. 7th minute, yeah. So,
and I think he already had one pretty close before that.
Look, at one point it was 8-6 to Penrith. It was 8-6 in the 50th minute, but then after that they just bang, 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 and then the last try to make it 20-12 was in the 79th minute to Alex Johnson. So Penrith are starting to really dominate, be in the top, definitely in the top 6 of this comp. Doing a lot better than a lot of people.
Do you reckon that success has gone to clear his head a little bit? It seemed a bit swollen.
No, his head was already big. He copped it. Let's put it that way. He copped the raw deal.
What he had, cellulitis or something?
Yeah, but I think he made 194 points on fantasy. So
he didn't really.
Yeah, something like that.
God damn. He played pretty damn well. He dominated.
One try, one offload, one line break, 6 tackle breaks, 1 line break assist, 17 tackles, 17 runs for 111 metres, 22 kicks for 591 metres.
That doesn't count for fantasy.
Yeah, but that's a pretty good game.
Yeah, but he only got very good 4 conversions. Jesus.
That's a pretty good game, I reckon. I'd say from that, and he got 2 from 5. Thank you very much.
No, that was a penalty goal. So, but yeah, Rabbitohs, considering like how decent they've kind of played the last couple of weeks, they looked anything but. Forwards were dominated in the middle. Kickout pretty much had his way, whatever he wanted to do. He didn't score this week, but he had a big impact on the game. James Roberts came off the bench and got sin-binned in his first game back at Latrell Mitchell. Obviously, Roberts isn't going to be playing off the bench each week. It's still going to be an interesting call from Bennett, whether it'll be Braden Burns or Campbell Graham that'll be dropped for next week. But Penrith continued to chug along, so they lost that big game against Parramatta, and then they've come out and beaten Storm and Rabbitohs. So if you're coming out 2-1 against Parramatta, Rabbitohs, and Storm, you're setting yourself up pretty well. They just continue to get things done. Second week of Dylan Edwards being back, they were as close to full strength, I guess, as they could be, except for Josh Mansour, and he was rested more as a precaution than anything else. And being able to bring Brent Naden in, it's a bit of a luxury. And the fact that they've just released Jack Hetherington to the Warriors on loan shows that their depth isn't anything at the moment, even with Kurt Capewell out as well.
But just remember, if they get one injury in their forwards, they can bring him straight back whenever they need to.
Yeah, that's it.
So, but good on Penrith. That was billed as a pretty high-end game, but Penrith dominated them, so good on them.
That's it. They're looking pretty. So, cousin Chriso out there, you'll be loving life at the moment.
Little Beatles loving life.
Little Beetle. With regards to the Rabbits, like the last 2 weeks, came off the back of forwards rolling through and then Latrell sweeping and getting more involved. It just didn't work because I just don't think the go forward was there, so they didn't get the same ball, the same time that they've had. Cody Walker still looks quite lively, quite good, but yeah. Too much falling on his shoulders again. Adam Reynolds, he's been quiet, waiting for him to Cleary completely showed him up. So,
yeah, well, Cleary beat New South Wales half. It just depends who the 5'8" is. It'll either be Mitchell Moses or Luke Keary. For me, it should be Keary just because should have been there 2 years ago. But in saying that too, Mitch Moses probably has more form right now.
Well, we're still waiting to see how long he'll be out, so that could have I keep thinking Origin will be in the middle of the year. No,
he should be right. It's just they're both playing really well, but I think Keary, just because of the fact that he's been so unfortunate, I think last year he got concussed, and the year before that, I think he done his knee or something like that, and he's been so close to selection being probably their first pick in the halves for the last couple of years, and you just haven't been able to get there. And when he's playing really well.
Oh, yeah. All right, first game on Friday nights. This was like the Anzac Games weekend. This was pure domination from start to finish. Storm 50-6 over the Warriors. Obviously, Steve Koenig sacking midweek. We questioned the timing. I think everyone did, and this may have been proof of it. Warriors just...
Well, we talked about it last...
Their hearts went in.
Last podcast. So in the NRL, there's kind of a history of teams really stepping up when their coach gets hooked, the coach gets fired. But in saying that too, we did talk about the fact that a lot of players were quite upset about what happened to Kearney. And a lot of players were thinking of stepping down this game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the score would have changed too much if they did step down.
No.
Their heads weren't in it, and I'm surprised they didn't get hurt, because if your head's not in it like that, sometimes you don't go into a tackle hard enough and you kind of get hurt, because you can tell they just were struggling everywhere that game. Their heads were not on the field, unfortunately. And
we were saying this is pretty much the closest to a full-strength team they could have had too.
Yeah.
They lost Fusatua before the game, but
like Mamalo was missing tackles everywhere. And Vunivalu was just running around him all day. I know he's faster, but his defence and his positioning, which the thing about it is, like, if you've got someone like, who's a pretty quick winger that's not as quick as Vunivalu, but quicker than most people, someone like, Ruben Garrick wouldn't be as quick as Vunivalu, you'd think, but he'd still be pretty quick. Mamalo's probably the slowest winger in the competition. So his positioning, but his positioning to tackle people in his defence is more paramount than anyone else, because he can't let someone have the sideline because I'll run around him. So he should be the best positional winger in the competition. And some of the positions he put himself in on the weekend for Vunivalu was just like, holy shit, look at this. It was just horrible.
It was, if there's any stat, Cam Smith topped the Storm's tackle count with 37. But in saying that, like, the missed tackles difference wasn't much. It was 28 to 31, so it's not like Storm actually did that well. Like, you're looking at line breaks 8 to 2, but Warriors actually had more runs and more sets than the Storm did. They completed 71%, whereas Storm only completed 77. So they... He got a double. Vunivalu got a double. Pappenhausen got a double.
I don't know. We did say that the Warriors were going to struggle this year. Everyone said that. It's not just us. But with all that, they really stepped up in those first couple of games. But I'm quite fearful of what's going to happen to them the rest of the season. Like, it's just going to be... Are they going to be able to find something from somewhere, or are they just going to go keep digging that hole for themselves? Like, ugh.
Yeah,
they haven't played the Roosters yet either. Like, they've got to come up against Parramatta, the Roosters, Canberra, Penrith, like all these teams. You're like,
man,
like kickouts.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
Which you can't blame them. Like, you really can't. The poor bastards. They've got
Cam Smith went into the change rooms after the game with Craig Bellamy and Ryan Hoffman, who's played for both clubs. It hasn't come out that I've seen what was actually said, but you'd think it'd be something along the lines of
keep your head up.
Yeah, keep your head up. We can't be doing this if you guys aren't here.
Well, look, I can't imagine it as much as some people, but Adam could. So imagine you as a teacher get sent to another country and you weren't allowed to see your wife or kids for 6 months. Like, you're stuck in a bubble only with the people you teach with.
Oof.
Yeah, you'd be going mad, wouldn't you? And your head wouldn't be in it at all. So props to them for what they're doing, and it's going to be really hard for the rest of the season, but it's going to be harder running out on that football field trying to keep up the same energy levels you need to win an NRL game. And I feel bad for them.
And regardless of what you think of Cameron Smith or Craig Bellamy, it's a bit of class for them to go in and do that as well at the end of the game. And I did love that I think Footy Legend put up Cameron Smith does it 2 days in a row, and then they Photoshop the picture of him into the Broncos change rooms.
Look,
after
the silly thing is people criticising Smith for it because everyone loves to criticise Smith. Every team's done it. Every team's went and talked to him after the game and said thank you. Like,
it's a whole team on the
and Canberra did it. Newcastle played them before. Every team who's played the Warriors this year has thanked them after the game because they're the ones holding this competition together right now. So, and
I think this week might have been a bit more with the Kearney sack and the absolute belting that they took. All right. So it could also be the little kick that the Storm needed in saying, like we said, if you look at stats wise, they didn't actually. There's a lot still to improve on. The score is going to help their points differential, no doubt, but still lots to work on for the Storm. Roosters 26 over the Dragons 12.
I want to say good on Dragons in this game. Like, seriously,
Only
good
get
on
beaten
you.
by 14.
Yeah, well, look, the shellacking you guys have copped over the last, 2 months is just been, you could have went in within yourselves, but you really stepped up this game. We'll say that the Roosters proved their dominance towards the end, though, but you surprised them. Dragons surprised the Roosters on Friday night, which was good.
And then Roosters did what they do, even with a double injury to Radley and then also your backup hooker. Both
He
have
started.
deals. Oh, did he?
Yeah, he started. He had 9 on his back.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, no, he started.
Missed the start of this game.
Yeah, so
in a bit of a rest.
So look, this team. As soon as the game ended, you saw the headlines about people complaining about Bankwest Field.
Yeah,
it's not the field; it was just unfortunate.
Yeah,
unfortunate
too. Yeah, they went and did an upgrade, a check of the field the next morning.
Yeah, it's just look. You get some of the fields that people play rugby league on. That field's a carpet. Stop complaining.
Yeah.
It was just, I feel bad for the two players, but don't blame the field. An ACL is an unfortunate injury. It's not a thing that could blame someone on.
No.
It's just, you just go, oh shit, it's happened. The only good thing about this, it's not a local player get tearing his ACL who has a family and a job. This guy gets the round the clock care.
Yeah.
So,
and they're both young. They'll come back. It's unfortunate for the Roosters.
Yeah.
You'd be saying like Orbison or Nat Butcher or
Isaac Liu.
Someone will just come straight into lock. Someone will come onto the bench.
They will struggle in attack now because Radley was such a point in their attack. Like offloads, he was the first receiver a lot. It's going to be different how they do that. But in saying that too, they're the Roosters. They're the most structured team, they're the most well-coached team in the competition. They'll come out of it fine.
Yeah. I'm looking at some stats here. So, like, time in possession, Dragons 34 minutes, Roosters 29. That's like a 5-minute difference in possession, which is quite a lot when you got the ball. 83% completion rate for the Dragons, 77 for the Roosters. But run meters, 2,000 to 1,600 to the Roosters. So they had less ball, less time possession, but ran for over 400 extra meters.
Yeah,
and that's nuts.
Like, Maria Hargraves, he's probably the best prop in the competition right now. He's just so dominant. But there was a few nice little changes in the Roosters squad, like Manu playing fullback. There was some pretty bad moments for him. There was a few absolutely brilliant moments for him. But with Morris out, with Tedesco out, it's pretty handy to throw bloody Joseph Manu at the back, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty handy. There's something else I had about this one.
Yeah, so the Dragons are just they're showing what we wanted them to show a few weeks ago, and that's actually having a bit of fight in their game, which they did.
And this is 2 games into McGregor's 4-game.
10, 8. So right at the 46, up to the 50th minute, Dragons are winning. So, and then, Brett Morris scored, and then Luke Keary scored, and then Brett Morris scored again. So Dragons were winning up to the 50th minute. And that's the second time in a few weeks that happened, because Roosters were down to Parra a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And up to about the 50th minute as well, and then it blew them out of the water. So if someone can get ahead for that 50th minute and hold their line, they would have a chance of beating the Roosters. Because a lot of teams don't win a grand final by being down in the 50th minute regularly. So it's very that's probably the one thing going against them, really. Which is I mean, every team's got to have their negative going in their game. Maybe you found the Roosters blow them away in the first 50 minutes.
Well, Trent Robertson will work it out. Kind of how the Cowboys worked out how to keep Kalen Ponga out of the game.
We're not talking about that.
First game on Saturday. This was a weird one. So Cowboys 32 over the Knights 20. So Cowboys got out to a 26-0 lead at halftime. And Knights won the second half 20-6.
Okay, so one thing I'd like to say, I called this.
Yes, so did I. Tipped them.
Yeah. No, I said that Newcastle might get beaten pretty badly in this game. Look, I don't think the Newcastle played any better against Broncos. I just think Cowboys just played that much better than both those teams.
In the first
Cowboys, Cowboys ran harder. They held on to the ball. They didn't do stupid shit. Like, there was one point in the first half when Newcastle kicked it, Cowboys charged it down, and then Newcastle guy dived on it and flicked the ball up behind him, and it landed straight in the Cowboys' hand. I was just sitting there, I'm like, awesome. Newcastle. Adam O'Brien called it. He reckons they walked into the game looking at the ladder instead of the team in front of them.
Yeah, that was his press conference.
Yeah, he was really honest about it. He just said, these Newcastle just didn't respect Cowboys, which is, if you watch that first half, 100% true. Like, we made 60 metres off the first kickoff. We put a bomb up. The fullback dropped it, and we just went, "Oh, game's over," pretty much. We, it was bad. Which I never really said Newcastle would be arrogant, but that's what it was on the weekend.
Complacent, maybe.
Yeah, complacent. Shibasaki was he bombed 2 tries in the first half. He wasn't ideal, but all I got to hope now is that Newcastle come out and they get a rocket up their ass this week, and they play to the standard they can against Manly and go back to where they used to play. Like early in this year. That's the only thing I can hope from that game.
If you want to be versing Manly any time in the season, it's probably these next few weeks, I'd say.
Yeah, that's right. And look, it'll be a good test because Manly aren't known for laying down. So it'll be even worse for Newcastle if they come out just as complacent or arrogant as they did on the weekend and come up against a Manly team who, just they hit you hard. And I think Tapau's back this weekend too.
He was back.
Was he?
But yeah, it wasn't Tapau.
It'll be a good battle between Pearce and Cherry Evans, probably the 2 most experienced halfbacks in the comp.
Cowboys also showed just how winning can be a habit, losing can be a habit. So 26-0 up. It had the look that it could get tight towards the end, where they were kind of, once Newcastle got in, like literally a minute after half time, and then that back-to-back in the 52nd and 57th minute, you're kind of going, all right.
Yeah.
Here they come kind of thing.
I was kind of hoping they didn't actually win that and come back. It would have been a great comeback, but like I said, they came out complacent. If they came back and won that after being down 26-0, they would have walked in.
Start some bad habits.
Yeah, they deserved a flog in that game. That's all I can say.
So it's good. Like, Cowboys had to come out and win after the revving that they got through the week. They did. So Cole Felt continues to score. Habito Fidau said that fullbacks is favoured position. We've got at least another probably week there, if not 2, maybe.
No, I think I read today that Holmes is back this weekend. So they'll put him on the wing just because he's probably over Opacek.
Oh, yeah.
So they put him on the wing. He's going to get a spot for what he deserves. His spot after the way he played.
Yeah.
Last couple of rounds with Holmes gone, but yeah, I think I did see a thing that Holmes is going to be back.
Alrighty, and this brings us on to my favourite game of the weekend for a couple of reasons. I think I was one of only 2% of people who tipped the Titans, which I really couldn't understand, considering how bad the Broncos have been.
Well, I think I made this my value bet.
I think so.
Yeah, because I had Corey Thompson and Gold Coast to win at like $9 or something, and Corey Thompson didn't score. No.
Oh, see, Callum correct my bet.
But yeah, no. Everyone's commenting on how bad Broncos played. Let's talk about how good Titans did play.
Titans
played well.
Top. You got to say it was like, let's talk about the rub of the green. But I think this was more of the bounce of the ball in the first half. Like every little thing that could have gone against the Broncos did, I guess, but pretty much every one of those situations is because the Titans put him in that position to start with. Like Corey Oates trying to get back out of the in goal and landing on the try line, not getting out in the in goal, giving the Titans another set. It's because the Titans did a really good kick and a really good chase. And they didn't give up. Like Broncos fought back a little bit. I think the commentator said, "Oh, here they come," kind of thing. Titans snuffed it out and kind of, I wouldn't say ran away with it, but they did it kind of comfortably in the end.
Yeah. Look, the Titans were... I've said before that I love what Justin Holbrook does. He comes out and goes, if you're not playing well, you're going to drop you. And he's finally found a team that's probably putting some points together, but playing together as well, which is good.
Yeah.
He's created that culture in the... Because I thought, a few weeks ago, Mitch Rain got dropped. I thought Mitch Rain didn't play too bad on the weekend.
Yeah.
And then you got surprise packing in Fogarty, who debuted at 26 because, So look, good on Titans. They probably deserve that a bit, the way their attitude's been all year. But
just look at some of these headlines saying stunned Big Brother. I wouldn't say they stunned him. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't. Someone's got to explain to me because I actually had a Broncos supporter in my house while we watched this game.
Yeah.
Did you see their bench? So they had Jermaine Asako.
We talked about that leading into going, what the hell?
No, yeah, it's super weird. Like Jermaine Asako, Kennedy, Ben Teo, and Thomas Dearden. Like, I think Asako got 12 minutes to play.
Yeah. And he subbed out Tessie Newey, the guy that came into the team for Asako.
Yeah, and then I think Thomas Dearden played the last 20 minutes at hooker.
Yeah.
It's just, when I saw it, and that's the only thing I could probably see, but what I would have done, I would have put, I said I put Dearden at halfback and probably Croft at hooker. Or even Asako on, Luke off, and Niu at hooker. Not Dearden at hooker. Dearden's not a hooker.
No. I was going to give Seabell the benefit of the doubt, but it seems like he's clutching at straws at the moment. Only having 11 players on the field for the last 6 minutes because he'd used up all his interchange. Lodge gets injured. He's got no one to come on for Lodge, and then Corey Oates gets sin bin. So it was 13 versus 11.
Oh, and then I saw it's just for example, we say Maguire and Holbrook should be commended in the changes they make to a team, but you can see a clear plan on what Maguire and Holbrook want to do.
Yeah.
You can't see which is, sometimes a really good sign for a coach because he sees something you don't. But then when what happened on the weekend happens, you're sitting there like, well, obviously you didn't see anything. You're just throwing people in there for the shits and giggles. I really don't understand.
Is it like their first try in the second half of the last 5 weeks comes from a 33-year-old who hasn't played NRL for 5 years, 4 years or something. And like Ash Taylor's looking good again. Anthony Don in the tries. Sam getting a meat pie as well. It's just a good all-round performance by the Titans. They dominated in possession, 81% completions. They just dominated all areas, apart from tackle breaks.
Broncos, look, we've said it before.
4 dropouts to none.
They need to. Seabold needs to go. Okay, you're not playing well. See ya. To anyone who's not playing well.
Then he would never team.
No, but you dropped a really under before you. Like Maguire dropped Marshall. That was a big call because he's most experienced player, and he that told him he had the most missed tackles of any half in the NRL. You're out for that, and that's what he needs to do. He needs to go. If you're not going to play this game to the standard I've set, you need to go, and you're going to sit on the bench and watch the game. And that's what he's not doing, and that's the problem.
You're talking about positioning-wise, like if you're going to be dropping players, etc. Just looking at that, they kept Haas to 160 metres. Looking at 5 forced dropouts to none and 500 and something kick metres to 200. It shows the Broncos don't have anyone controlling the game or leading the team around the park. And they signed Brodie Croft, but that was never his strong point. He's a runner of the ball. What about Dearden at half, Croft at 5'8"?
Yeah, look.
And then throw Milford back at fullback.
No, Milford can't play fullback because he's not fit enough. Milford needs to be dropped. Unfortunately, that's what it is. Or bring him on at number 14 and give him a 20 minutes.
Yeah, you could do that.
I just don't think
fullback.
I didn't see a problem with Asako. No, I didn't see a problem with Asako there. Like, he's not doing overly well, but he's not their problem. I said it last
No, he's not
podcast.
the problem.
He's not the problem.
Enough in defense. It's his attack that's missing in.
Yeah.
So maybe Coates at fullback.
Well, okay.
I've never seen him play. This is the first time I've seen him play this year, so I don't know if he's played.
Yeah. So the problem isn't the versatility.
Anthony Seabold, we're just throwing names out there.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. The problem isn't the versatility of the players. The problem is the players, I reckon, are too comfortable. I've said it before. I don't think they came back from COVID overly fit. And I think the teams doing well now were disciplined during the coronavirus shutdown. And that's just like... And then I don't think he has... I think he's just told the players, you're essentially allowed to do what you want. I'm not going to drop you. Because, like, if a senior player like Milford or Boyd were playing to the standards they were playing under Trent Robinson, Craig Bellamy, Des Hasler, you can even throw Maguire in now. I know I said him a lot. But all those really dominant coaches, they'd be gone. That's the bottom line. No, if you're a coach who's worth it, you're not going to go, just because he's experienced, we're going to put him in there. If you're not playing well to the NRL standard, you should be gone.
Chris Lawrence, Benji Marshall are examples at the Tigers.
Yeah. Like, look at last year. What was it? Craig Bellamy, a week before the final series, dropped his halfback because he wasn't playing to his standard and brought in Jerome Hughes. Like...
It didn't work out for him, but he made the point.
No, it didn't. But, like, he pretty much told, who was it? Oh, Tom Croft. It was Croft. He dropped Croft and went, look, and this was well after he signed with the Broncos, so it wasn't because he signed with the Broncos.
Yeah.
He just went, mate, you're not playing to what I want you to play. See ya. And that's how it's always been in rugby league, and I don't see why it's not happening to the Broncos. It's just no.
And then I just had a look. Then Payne Haas only played 65 minutes.
Well, that's good. They gave him a 15-minute break. That's really good. But he's got so much pressure on him for such a young guy.
Yeah.
Like you see, who's an example? Oh, you see how good the Safidi twins that have 2 years with Dave Clemmer in their squad. You see every front rower at the Roosters doing well because they've got Roria Hargraves standing next to him going, this is the standard you need to be at. Yeah, and the poor bastard's got so much pressure on him at such a young age because he has to lead from the front that he's suffering from it.
It was... So the game itself was a big story, and then once the game finished, it kind of created a story in itself. And if I was a Broncos fan, I would be filthy. I would be so incredibly pissed off and disappointed. Not just that they've thrown out that shit show of a performance, but the fact that they had enough energy into high five, laugh, clap, chat with the opposition. And I agree with, I think everyone, the past players and stuff that's come out and said it's creeping into the game. Everyone's too friendly with each other.
They all know each other now.
They all know each other. They get that, and they change clubs and all that shit. But you've got to have... It shows that they've got no sense of what's going on. They've got no sense of their responsibility. Like, they just got their ass handed to them by their local rival for the third time in a row at Suncorp. They've lost. And they couldn't give a shit. That's like... They were clapping, laughing. What we should have seen, shake hands, walk into the change rooms, don't see you again for the rest of the night.
No, I want to put a step in there for you. I want them to go see their fans who are.
You can do that. Yeah, sorry, but
I'll stay 1.5 meters apart. But yeah, go see your fans.
Yeah, instead of that time talking to the opposition, clapping, laughing, congratulating them. Shoot him a text message later that night. Well played, man. That was sick. You played really well. We don't need to see that on national television.
Well,
the Broncos
it's not even that.
Don't need to see it.
They were doing it on the field. They half an hour after the game, they shut the cameras off underneath in the change rooms. Go see him in the change rooms.
Yeah,
there's no problem with that. They're all in the same place. I'm not overly worried about it. I think it's
really.
I think it's.
You're talking about standards.
No, I just
standards.
I don't. Just because of the fact that they do know each other, it's probably hard not to. It's a bit shitty. I understand. I know. I get what you're saying. I agree with understanding what's happening, but they probably didn't realise at the time it was. I don't know.
They have to realise. It's part of their freaking job.
Okay.
I had 12s in the same class playing touch football who are almost getting into push and shoves because they want to win so bad. And it's freaking like year 12 touch football in a class where everyone knows each other.
I actually kind of want to throw it out against their supporters as well. I would never boo Newcastle, no matter what the situation was. Like, I went through... Look, if you want to ask a supporter what it's like to have 5 shit years, go see a Newcastle supporter. Go see a Warriors supporter for the last 20.
But you've also got to take context into consideration here. That say Newcastle's a working man's club. West Tigers is a fire club. Brisbane's a glamour club. There's only a few of them, and they're a glamour club based on their history and their success. And I think Broncos fans can take losing, but the way that they're losing and the fact that they're showing nothing week in, week out apart from talk.
It doesn't mean you get to boo them. They're your team.
Yeah, but it's
especially at half-time.
Relationship, I think.
No, it doesn't. So you're You're saying that just because they have a history of winning doesn't mean they should be getting used to getting beaten.
No. I said the losing fans can accept if you're losing in the right way. If you're losing in the way that they're losing, then I think the fans have every right to make their feelings felt. I don't even know if it's booing just the players. I think it's the situation that the fans and themselves.
Yeah, but who's copping it? The players. And which you understand they get to cop it because they're the front line of the Broncos. And that's what the players, fans have got to do. But I'll never agree with booing your own squad. I reckon it's just poor form, and you support them through everything, and they're going through a really shit time. And
should they be supporting them through this?
Yes, you don't boo your team. That's the bottom line.
I wouldn't boo my team if my team was trying to get out of it. There's nothing.
Would you ever boo Manly?
Showing if they were doing this sort of effort week in, week out with no remorse, no public show of improvement that they're trying to get better, and then just going, oh, we don't really give a shit. We're getting our paycheck. We don't really need to win. The club doesn't mean that much. The fans don't mean that much. So they would take in that sort of attitude, which the Broncos are showing on the outside, because all they're saying is they're talking that that's not the case, but they're not freaking showing it. Then
I don't think you should boo at all.
If you watch, like, the biggest one, you hear the booing and stuff in soccer, but the only teams that get booed in the Premier League are your Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. They're the only ones whose fans really boo them off because there's such high expectations and there's such high standards set that if you don't live up to it continuously,
but
it happens. You don't see the Bright fans or the
you're in a sport
Everton fans or whatever.
You're in a sport that rotates teams. Like, every 5 years is genuinely a new team due to salary cap right now.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a dominant squad, and they've been so lucky over the years to have such dominance. And I'm loving it. Yeah, I reckon it's great too. Fuck you, Broncos fans. But as soon as the Broncos fans hear a bit of, like, you have a rough run of only 5 games, they're off I saw on Facebook, I saw a Broncos jersey getting burnt.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was live streaming it.
Again, I don't think it's to do with the 5 losses. I think it's the culture at the club. I think it's the lack of leadership from board level all the way up. This is a lack of misguided retention of players. Too much money locked up in.
So if
potential, and it's finding its way all the way down under the feet.
Yeah, if the fans realise it's all those reasons and it's coming from the board, so they take it out on the players during the game. It wasn't after the game; it was during the game.
Yeah,
to make them feel worse about what's going on.
The booze. We corrected at the.
You're not going to. Let's put it this way: if you walked off the field at your home game, and you're getting, what was the score at halftime?
22-0.
22-0. If you're getting 22-0, you're not going to get pumped up for your second half to come out and do what Cowboys did last week or Newcastle did this week, come out and try and win the game. If you're getting booed when you walk off the field.
No, but I'd also say that
as the
trying
fans
to win the game from the start of the game, not just in the second half.
But look, sometimes the team's better than you. Straight up.
No.
And you can walk off the field, and if you get encouragement, maybe they'll pump you up for the next second half. If you see a guy in the same jersey as you as a fan and booing you, you're going to be like, oh, fuck. This is horrible, and not going to have a really upbeat attitude.
If this was the first week where this had happened, they wouldn't be getting booed, and
it's only 5.
Come out second.
It's only 5
weeks.
Have
you been watching their games though?
Yes, I have, and
it's not a 5-game losing streak.
I just spent the last 10 minutes criticising them. I have been.
Look at the Sharks at the start of the season. They were 1-4, but they were at least trying, and they were in.
Yeah, no, I really respect the.
These games are before they start.
I really respect the Bulldogs games, how they play, the Sharks games, how they play. I really do respect
Bulldogs
it.
aren't going to get booed
But-
off at half time.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't think anyone should get booed off at halftime unless you're Parramatta. I don't think anyone should get booed off. I really don't. I don't understand why. Because
So you
look,
get paid a fuckload of money that we'd all love to get paid for doing shit all.
yeah, but I keep coming back to it. Newcastle have put some fucking shit performances on. I'd still never boo them. No matter what you do, I'd never boo them.
If you're a Payne fan, it gives you the right to express your opinion. Just bad mouthing them on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. It's not. I don't think it's towards the players themselves. I think it's
but who's copping it?
the owners.
They're not. They're sitting up with their board on more money than the players are.
Yeah, I know, but that's what booing is targeting. It's not targeting the players generally.
Yeah.
The only players on the field who get booed are the opposition players that you have respect for and are scared that they can win the game. They're the only players who actually get booed personally.
I'm just saying Broncos supporters are shit. I'm just saying Broncos. As soon as they start losing, they jump shit.
Oh, that's part of it. But they do that during normal losing streak. But Hodges said that's the first time he's ever heard booing at a Broncos game.
Yeah, and that's because they've always had champion teams. The one time they don't.
They haven't had a champion team since 2006.
They have the best strike rate in the NRL.
Of course they do. They've only been around since '88, and they walked in.
So was Newcastle.
Team. Yeah, I know. But if you have Newcastle,
if you put anyone
premierships they've won is when they've had Immortals on their team. But they've had a shit team since. Well, not a shit team. They haven't had a championship team since 2006. It's 14 years of losing. This is the first time they've ever been booed. Not because they're losing.
They still made the grand final. It still made the grand final.
It's still the same as coming second last.
Look, I just think that despite everything that's going on, and they just got to get over themselves as supporters. Get over it. You support them. You hate what's happening, but you don't boo them on the field.
Of course,
and you don't get on Facebook and you bag the shit out of them. You don't.
You do that to us when Newcastle play shit.
I do not.
You do too.
I don't bag them as in they're playing bad. I go, look, they could. I'm not criticising. I just said they played shit. I don't boo them.
Yeah.
I don't stop watching their game. I don't walk out at halftime, which I guarantee you some of the Broncos supporters did.
Yeah, but that's supporters everywhere, though. And it's not. This isn't at the players. This is at the club. There's no point going up to Paul White's house at like 9 p.m. on a Friday night and booing at his front door.
Well, that's more justified than what the Broncos supporters did at Suncorp Stadium on Friday night.
The players are just the final product of a club that they've put together.
Yeah, and so
the club's in a shambles, not the teams.
They should
organise right now.
They should organise a planned protest 1.5 metres apart, everyone, and go out and boo Paul White's house.
I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to that soon. I think they've got every right to, and even the players said we deserve that because we're playing like shit. No one's putting their hand up.
But what else are they going to come out and say? Screw you all?
No, they could say exactly what you said. Don't boo us because we're your team.
Yeah, don't boo someone who's your team.
The
only team that deserves to get booed is Parramatta.
They are Parramatta. They're just in a different coloured jersey. All right, so talking about Parramatta, they almost blew it. This is a good game. It was Canberra still did not look like winning this up to any point except for literally the last 5 minutes. Parramatta came out of the blocks pretty quick until they lost Mitch Moses, and from there they did lose a bit of direction. Definitely lost some kicking game.
He got his conversion in the 5th minute. From then on, Clint Gutherson had to take over the kicking and pretty much the game throughout. But it showed just how important Moses is to this team, which isn't something I think anyone would have said like 3 years ago. And Raiders showed some signs of life with regards to their attack, especially Charles Nickel-Klokstad, who had a decent overall game and then a couple of tries to ice it. Well, I tell you what, this guy's caught my eye the last 2-3 weeks. Michael Jennings. He's looking good. He's looking fast. He's looking fit. He's got that shimmy step. I'm actually worried when he gets his hands on the ball now as the opposition.
Do you know what I liked Parramatta did? A couple of weeks ago we said I don't think they're using Brian Madison as well as they could. But when Mitchell Moses came off, I think someone sent a message out to Madison to start ball playing more, which I was quite happy about seeing. I think he done pretty well with that. But with the I think Parramatta deserved to win this game, despite that Canberra's last 25 minutes. Wow, look at that. They held in well, didn't they? So Ryan Madison scored in the 4th minute, and then Papali and Whitehead scored. Then Parramatta kind of blew them out with 3 tries up to 67.
3 tries in 15 minutes.
And then Charles Nickel-Klokstad scored 2 really good tries, like top-notch tries. And then Gutherson in the 87th minute just iced it.
It was huge when Miko Sivo scored his try, how up for it they were after that. This is it. We've put them down to bed, and then Raiders just didn't give up. They kept fighting way back, and actually could have put themselves in a better chance to win because they had just over 2 minutes to get downfield. I think Williams ended up having a shot from 45 metres out.
I think a lot of credit also goes to Jared Croker for having the balls to slot those last 2 conversions in the last 5 minutes. The second try especially. See, when you're practicing kicking, most people practice from the sideline because that's theoretically the hardest place to kick from. But he got that about 25 metres to the right of the post looking at it. And sometimes they're the hardest because you kind of go into them not as well practicing them, but thinking you should get them because you can get it from the sideline.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there, and right now, out of all the kickers in the NRL, if I had to take someone to kick that, I'd take Jared Croker.
Yeah, he's good for that. He's just got that dead straight kick.
Yeah.
Don't worry about him for the curve.
I think he's at 85% or 81, mid-80s or low 80s or something, which is ridiculous for a goal kicker. He's just, good on him. One of the most underrated, underappreciated players in the GOMP, minus anyone in Canberra.
I think he's, if you look at it, he's the highest point scoring Raiders history.
Yeah.
He had that when he was 24 years old. He's 26 now.
Yeah. He's just so, he's so safe defensively. He's not overly big, overly imposing. But I guarantee you, if a lot of centers said who would be the hardest person to get past, they'd say him. He's just so
football IQ.
Yeah,
look through the stats of this. The 2 big ones that do jump out. It's pretty equal across the board, but tackle breaks 54 to 26.
Wow,
so that's a huge difference. That's Parramatta over Canberra, double the amount. And post-contact meters, 200 meters post-contact for Parramatta over Canberra. So a couple of things to look in there for Canberra, just making more use of their runs. But I wouldn't want to be playing Canberra next week because it looks like their attacks, even though they didn't score throughout the whole game, there was a patch where it kind of looked like it had been, and then something sort of just clicked, and they George Williams, man, he's had 11 try assists, 8 from kicks this year. He's got a damn good little kicking game, and man, he's an ugly looking dude, especially when his nose got smacked far out.
Canberra,
another win.
Canberra's actually got a very interesting next 5 games. So they're up against St George this week, and then they're up against Melbourne, and then they're up against Roosters, and then they're up against South Sydney, which you don't know how they're going to look in 4 games, and then they're up against Cowboys. So you got some games that you think they should win, but good
Melbourne
games.
won't have Munster.
Yeah.
Roosters won't
And
have
then
Bradley.
Look, you look at Dragons, they pushed Roosters to the top. South Sydney, like I said, they could go either way. They could come out and blow you off the park or get beaten. And then you look, Cowboys look like they got in a bit of form. So looks like the next 5 weeks, Canberra's going to be the game to watch just to see how they're going. It's going to be really interesting.
And Parrot, yeah, just another win there, and it could prove pretty important depending on Moses's. I don't know.
Moses injury.
Moses injury. Say he's out for a couple of weeks. Who comes in?
Well, they're saying Takarangi. I wouldn't be surprised if Will Smith did, but they reckon Takarangi might come in.
There won't be enough creativity between him and... That's putting a hell of a lot on Dylan Brown.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dylan Brown can handle it. There's some really interesting stories about him in his preseason, the way he was. So there's a story about him passing out at training. Did you hear about that? So
in the game.
No, he wanted to win the fitness. So the fittest dude in Parramatta is Clint Gutherson. He wanted to beat him so bad that he got to a point where he just pushed himself that hard he fainted because he was that competitive to beat him. That's a good thing. He's super competitive.
You know what's even better? A kicking game. And a goal.
Yeah, well, Guffo did well on the weekend, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I don't think anyone they're going to bring in is going to fill the boots.
Yeah, well, I got abused for this, but I did say Parramatta have no depth.
Yeah. So it's going to be, we'll see. Scans tomorrow or tonight. We'll find out before Thursday.
Right. Okay, mate. You want to give us a bit of a rundown? I'll give you everyone the score. So Cronulla beat Manly 40-22. Manly are missing a lot of players, but it looks like
we're missing
Cronulla. Yeah, but 2 big players.
Yeah.
It looks like Cronulla, because you're up there for a minute. Like, it was 12-all, and then between the 30th, you had a 25-minute run there where, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tries in 25 minutes?
So this was the 4 o'clock Channel 9 game. So anyone watched it would have seen that the first 15 minutes of this game was boring as hell. Both teams were going up either end. Fifth tackle options were poor. And I'm just sitting there going, man, whoever clicks first is going to win this game. Sharks scored, Manly scored. Sharks scored. Sharks spine with Brayley, Johnson, Moylan. They've played 3 games together now, I think. It's making a
Townsend as well.
Well, Townsend's been the staple that's been there pretty much the whole time. But those 3 getting some combos there. Sean Johnson, I think that's 3 really good games in a row he's played. I was hoping this was going to be the week that he dropped down because he'd had 2 in a row. But, yeah, I think from a Manly point of view, the most disappointing thing here is the 40 from the Sharks, because going into this game, we had the best defense points per game out of any team. And Tom Trbojevic isn't going to stop 40 points. He might stop 12 or so, but you're not going to stop 40.
Score 14.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed, honestly, in Cherry Evans in the first half, knowing how much was going on his shoulders. His fifth tackle options, the first 2 sets of the game, he did grubber kicks straight to... They literally went about 2 metres straight to an opposition player. I think Lachlan Croker's trying to do too much. He had a bloody blinder of a cutout ball for our first try to Tafua. And that's what he can do, but he was kind of trying to run around doing too many things. He kind of looks like Sean Johnson when he's trying to do too many things at once.
Well, in saying that too, like
out on the full. And you're just like, dude,
the poor
on the
guy
ball.
at Manly haven't really had a chance. So I wouldn't be
He's had a
surprised.
chance.
No, not
That's why we signed Dylan
decent.
Walker.
Yeah, not a decent run at 6.
Yes, he
So
did.
you might. How long?
Well, like 2 years ago, he had about 8 or 9 games straight.
Give him another go. I just think that he might have come out there trying to prove too much, and like you said, he wasn't playing to his strengths.
I think it was nice to see Cade Cuss get on the bench. I still would have liked to see him earn more minutes. The Manly forwards were, Manly forwards. Yeah, actually, no. All the Manly forwards are actually pretty good. Adina Blake was just huge. 207 metres, 2 tries in 61 minutes. It was just...
Can I ask you a question? How's
I only played 39 minutes. There you go. First game back.
I haven't really watched him.
Oh.
In your opinion, how's Danny Levi going?
He's good. He's been fine. He's not been asked to do any more than needed to. He played 60 minutes. Cade Cuss came on for the last 20. That was the first time he's really had a bit of a spell. He's been good. The service to especially Cherry Evans.
Yeah, because
he's been a decent shot. He had a try.
He's actually the one thing I have realised, he actually put on a bit of weight this pre-season, I reckon. Put a bit of muscle on, which he was never really that big of a... I think it's more in the chest area for himself. But yeah, because you weren't a big fan of his signing at the start of the year, but I was just wondering about during the week, what you thought of his performance, because he's come in there to replace what's his name? The guy who got stabbed somebody. Finau. So it's So you happy with that signing this year?
I am. Like, he was never going to bring the creativity that Finau has, and that's still been evident. But no, he's been solid. Like, his service is pretty much what he was brought there to do, and just a player who's going to be able to get the ball out quick. Again, only 3 runs for 27 metres. He could probably run, especially with, I'm going to get to this in a moment, without, bloody hell, without Dylan Walker being there.
Which is a bit disappointing, because that's his best part of his game. He can tackle, but he's pretty quick out of dummy half.
Yeah, I've seen that. The few times he's done it, he's caused trouble. But he did a try save. He pretty much hit. Oh, who was it? It might have been. Oh, Braden Newelle. He hit 1-on-1 about 2 meters out from the try line, and stopped him from scoring early in the game. But I know everyone's talking about Tom Trbojevic, but we miss Dylan Walker running the ball. The amount of meters that he picks up, especially on the edge with his speed before he links up with Parker, is immense. Like, his kicking game's still coming along, and it'll continue to come along. But just having that go forward that he can create, and then Cherry Evans play off the back of that was missed just as much as Trbojevic and his point scoring. If you actually look back through the rest of the year, if you look at the tries that Trbojevic has set up, have a look how many of those have come on the back of either the tackle before or the before that Walker's had a run. His speed off the mark just freezes defense, and he's going to be missed just as much as Trbojevic will, but it's just not going to be obviously as evident if you're not watching for it specifically. Yeah, I think Croker's just got to settle down a little bit. Brendan Elliott was fine at fullback. I would have liked to see Albert Hopewadi get a run maybe next week, but in saying that, Sharks are just looking better and better. Another 2 tries to Sione Katoa. Jesse Ramian scored a try from a broken down play. Andrew Fafita, there's something going on with his knee. He can hardly push off from it. So
I think I'm
it's
not going to say he's done.
that he's going to have a rest.
I'm not going to say Fafita's done, but I think John Morris is going to have a talk to him again behind bulletproof glass. To be honest, I think he's another player. He even needs to look at his body and go, "Am I still able to do this?" Because his body's been deteriorating really quick the last couple of years. He has been playing NRL in the front row for like 10 years now, so you can't blame him for it. But he's getting more and more injured. Either maybe look at retirement or finish his career in England. I think he's not as effective as he could be.
No,
and
he's coming off the bench playing like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and it's holding back. Some of the younger guys like Hamlin, Ueli should be starting every game. Toby Rudolph's a good young front rower coming through. They've got a lot of young guys coming through. I think they need to go, mate. What are we doing here, kind of thing. Like, unfortunately, I've never been overly a fan of him, but on his day, he's, as I said earlier, could be as effective as Tamalolo.
Yeah.
But I think those days are past him, unfortunately.
All right, looking ahead, we've got the last game, which is Sunday night. West Tigers versus Bulldogs. This is a bit of an arm wrestle early on, but once Tigers got on the board, there was pretty much that was game, set, and match. So Dogs got out.
I didn't actually get to watch this game, but now I'm looking at it. Remus Smith scored on a really good try in the 18th minute.
Yeah,
and Tigers is ripped through him. I will say that Harry Grant is second in the Dally M leaderboard currently.
Yep.
So that'd be interesting if he gets Dally M on loan.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. The more he plays like this, the more questions are going to be asked down at the Storm.
I said from the start.
Smith would be the one who gets pushed, but
I've said from the start that Harry Grant's more of a hooker than Brandon Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, and I think if he stays at Melbourne, he's next in line. But you can't keep three of them at Melbourne. It's just not going to work. So what do you have? Just Harry Grant at 14, but Cam Smith can still play 80. And right now, Brandon Smith's the ultimate utility because he can play at hooker, but he can also play anywhere in the forward pack.
Yeah.
So, and having a backup hooker for Cameron Smith is essentially useless. So it's just like
if he stays at life. Imagine if Tigers offer him like a 5-year,
which they'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
But look, but even if Smith does retire next year, it's going to create issues because it's been publicly said by Craig Bellamy that Brandon Smith has been promised the number 9 jersey at Melbourne after Smith retires. And that's why he's playing all these shit positions because eventually he gets that jersey.
Yeah.
But as a hooker, no one can walk past Harry Grant right now. He's probably I'm not going to say the form hooker of the comp because that's called a lot of shit, but he's been one of the top hookers in the comp this year. So
it's him versus Reid Marnie for Queensland Origin hooker.
Isn't Harry New South Wales?
Huh?
Isn't Harry Grant New South Wales?
No.
Harry Grant I would be more worried about Harry Grant playing hooker for Queensland than Reid Marnie.
Yeah, me too.
Just because his creativity in the middle is a lot more advanced. And Marnie's good, but he's just a defender. That's all he is. I think Harry Grant's pretty well built for Origin.
And looking at the Tigers, I think they're kind of floating under the radar still a little bit. North Luma, another double. Tommy Talau coming in on the wing for Robert Jennings, getting a double. Adam Dewey looking more and more comfortable at fullback.
Oh, I'm loving Dewey at fullback.
Yeah,
We did say at the start of the year that he needs to prove why he's got told to come there, and he has been. No, you know what I mean.
Well, we're saying Tigers flying under 8. They're up to 6th now. They've jumped the Raiders and the Sea Eagles on points differential after Sea Eagles belting there. So having a look at the ladder, we're looking at
one more thing about the Tigers. I just want to shout out to David Nolfaluma. He's probably the best winger in the comp currently. He's been smashing it, but yeah, sorry.
No, that's I'm just trying to think. We said 11 wins to get into 8th position. That's 22 points. How long can we start calling some of these teams? So Bulldogs are on.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say Bulldogs are out, Broncos are out, Warriors are out, and Gold Coast are out. Look, it's only round 7, so you got 11 games left. So for St. George to theoretically make 8th spot, they can only drop 2 of those games. 2 of the last 11?
13 games left.
I thought it was round 18.
No, it's 20 rounds.
Oh, okay.
Well,
there you go. So they can...
There's 13 games left, so that's 26 points.
Okay.
You need 22 points to get in. So if you need to get to...
Okay, so Dragons can only drop 2 games of the last 13 games to win that. Cronulla can only drop 3.
Yeah.
And North Queensland, South Sydney...
Yeah, same
they
as
can only drop 3. So how many they've won?
Bulldogs need to win 10 of their last 13.
Yeah, they can only
to get to 22. To get to our asterisk 8th position.
Yeah.
Broncos
so
9 of their last 13.
I see everywhere 12 and below can't make him. So St. George, Gold Coast, Warriors, Broncos, and Canterbury. And then you've got 11 players, 11 teams still in the mix. So obviously Penrith, Roosters, Melbourne, Newcastle, Tigers, Canberra, Manly, South Sydney, North Queensland, and Cronulla.
Yeah, so you look at Parramatta's on 12. So they pretty much need 5 wins out of their last 13 to get you into, say, your finals position. So it's starting to separate. So these next, I'd say at least what are going into round 8, 9, 10. You got three weeks pretty much to cement. Yeah. Sorry, you can't win a finals position in the next 3 weeks, but you can definitely lose one.
Yeah. So there's only 11 teams left.
Warriors versus Broncos. So whoever wins that next week may keep the chance alive. If Raiders, Seagulls, or West Tigers lose, because that'll keep them 1 win out of the 8. But
but the thing about it is, the last 12 to 16, so the last 5 teams, you got St. George, who have had a lot of drama in the last 6 weeks, and then you got Gold Coast, who just don't have the team. Warriors, who we both agreed pretty much dead ducks this year. And then you got Broncos, who are, they've got to change a lot to start winning. And then you've got Canberra, who just don't have the team. So for those last 5 teams to be able to do it, they've got to turn their season around completely, where the 3 teams outside the top 8, South Sydney, North Queensland, and Cronulla, they have the ability to surprise a lot of the top teams if they're on their day. So that's why I think only top 11 can make it right now. And then the next couple of weeks, whoever starts, like if, anyone from, let's have a look, probably 5 down. So Newcastle, Tigers, Canberra, Manly, for those top 8. So the bottom 4 of the 8, if they drop a few games here, they might struggle as well. So it's going to be really interesting.
We've got Newcastle and Manly next week, which will be
Mm.
Jared versus me. I wish injuries had happened a bit later in the season, but it's always a battle between Newcastle and Manly. So,
and another little spanner in the works is the draw between Penrith and Newcastle. So it's always interesting when teams are on uneven points as well. So it's going to be, I don't know what's going to happen.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there, I reckon, and we will have our round 8 preview coming at you Thursday morning. Keep an eye out. I guess the big stuff tomorrow will be Mitchell Moses' injury, and we'll see what comes up from that. All right. Anything from you, J-Rod?
Nah, pretty sure I talk too much.
I'm going to take some painkillers for my freaking tooth because it's starting to throb. See you on Thursday.
See you later.